Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Prepper Talk Radio. We are radio for the ready-minded with Scott, Shane, and Paris in the house, reminding you it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Be that as it may, you better start learning gardening also. Tonight is the end of the month for us. It is our world update, if you will, the shenanigans around the world, whether it's round or flat, you still got to go around it somehow. We're going to cover a lot of it, and we're going to dig deep and expose what's happening, what you need to be aware of. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good
as always. Yeah,
I'm in my busy season.
As always, our chat is ablaze with conversation. If you guys get here early, there's usually about 3 to 5 minutes before the show of shenanigans already started. We've got some very popular and very fun people in there. Sandra's in there, of course. We've got Field Tack. Give them a follow. We've got Rebecca in there already, Utah Mike, and I think I saw Prepared Guy and a couple other people. Anyways, Joseph, there he is. So guys, make sure you are following us wherever we are, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We have a Facebook group, Emergency Prep and Self-Reliance. You can join in. We get some really good interaction there, as well as check out preppertalkradio.com. We have on there a couple cool things for you. Number one, we've got some free resources. If you go to the resources page, download those. We've got emergency kit guides. We've got some essential lists, and as well as a few other tools and resources that are just free for you, right? Just download them. And then we have our favorite gear. Check it all out. All of them come with discount links and some other fun stuff, and we have a library. So check out all those resources. Now is the time to get prepared because we are running out of it. With that being said, Shane, are you ready to kick us off, to start us off? Do you have a piece de resistance to drop, or you want to wait till the very end and like start a new conversation?
There's so many that the pièce de résistance could be all the way through, right?
He's going to do both. He's going to give us a pop right now, and then 5 minutes before we end, he's going to like blow us up with something.
No pressure, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll start off this. Did you hear about the California banned Glocks?
Yeah, Gen 5.
I heard it was going to happen. Them, huh? It did happen, huh?
Yeah, I did. And Glock discontinued all of their models except for the compact ones like the 43, 43X, 48, something like that. And so they're redesigning them. There's the stupid California. I know it's a bunch of different lawsuits, a bunch of different states that have been on Glock's case to make their handguns more difficult to modify, something like that. There's something called a Glock switch, which can make.
They're fighting it. I know though. I got an email, something about, hey, we're fighting this, appealing it, blah blah blah, something or other. So
yeah, there's not a whole lot of information out there as to what Glock is actually doing. So it's kind of unknown at the moment. They obviously have been fighting those for quite a while, but I don't know if they're just giving in or what. But you go to the local gun shops, no Glocks to be found. They've all been bought out. All the ones that are discontinued.
So it's just a certain group of Glocks that have been discontinued in the state.
Pretty much all of them, except for their compact models. Their micro, like I said, like the 43, 43X. That particular platform. So apparently those are already good. Well, they are smaller. So I don't know anything about Glock switches themselves, but they are illegal, right? So why make the Glock illegal when the Glock switch is already illegal? So long conversation. There's people who love Glocks, people who hate Glocks, and I wouldn't say I'm either, but I carry one every day. So
interesting. Well, if you guys live in California and you're wanting to get armed, you can actually check out one of my in-laws, my brother-in-law, Ben. Go to CaliforniaGunPermit.com and he can get you squared away. That guy is former FBI, tons of experience shooting, does lots of CCW in California. But we need to get those things taken care of in every state. Like wherever you live, get strapped. Like, please get strapped. It's that time where we need to be vigilant and better prepared all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree 100%. A lot of things we'll talk about today should inspire you to be alert, like you say, have your head on a swivel and be prepared to, defend yourself.
Absolutely.
And everywhere you are, like you can't even be safe at a church anymore, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Well, did you guys hear about what's going on in Rio de Janeiro?
Oh, yeah. Oh, in Rio. No, I did hear something. Yes.
So this is interesting. 2,500 armed officers raided the poor communities to try to root out what's called the Red Command. The Rio, it was slaughtered, like 132 killed, 2,500 armed officers raiding the neighborhoods of the Red Command with the attempts to get all the generals, all the upper officials in that gang, and they failed like horrifically.
Really?
And what caught my attention in this was the fact that the Red Command hijacked 50 buses to barricade the officers out of the areas, lit many of them on fire, destroyed most of them, and then they started using drones to drop grenades.
The gangs did.
The gangs did.
Wow.
So 15 officers were killed, 132 civilian / we don't know yet, at least 132 other deaths. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it is, they're trying to deal with gang violence. The other thing is like, we're going to see more and more of this worldwide, right? Like we're seeing it there. We're seeing issues here with the ICE detention centers and the peaceful protests. We're going to throw air quotes on that one. Not so peaceful, right? And there's a lot of issues with ICE we can talk about too, but like it's getting hotter everywhere in the world. In fact, there's also, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to ICE, but they're trying to recruit 10,000 more officers for ICE. And I don't know if you've seen the news, but they're having a major, major issue. Majority of applicants cannot pass the physical.
What?
They cannot pass the physical, meaning they cannot complete a 1.5 mile run in 14 minutes, do 32 sit-ups, and 15 push-ups. Many of them are failing at the sit-ups. Most are failing on the run.
Cardio.
Yeah, I don't know if I do very well on the run, but I could do the push-ups and the sit-ups for sure.
Right? The fact that there are some failing on the 32 sit-ups is beyond me. I'm like, what? You're going to be a law enforcement officer, a physical position, and you can't do the basic here? Like, what? That's baffling to me.
Yeah, one thing I've said often, I think it's been a while since I've actually said anything, but one of my biggest concerns is as things go south, as the economy worsens, as we get closer to the end, as they use the air quotes, that gangs are going to be probably our biggest concern, locally and individually, because of what we're going to see potentially this weekend. We'll get into that, just shortages. And then people will band together in tribes, in groups, in gangs. Gangs will get more powerful and take over more territory and be a much bigger problem. This your story there, Scott, basically exemplifies that perfectly. I think is the cops can't even 2,500 cops can't even take control.
And they're also having problems right now. Many of the existing agents. I can't say many. There's a large number of news reports coming out where they're getting injured in pursuits, rolling ankles because improper tied shoes, like basic things that you're like, you didn't have your shoes tied. You're wearing loose sneakers. Like you're not like, which then makes me think, okay, as a prepper, what do I need to do better? Lace up my boots tight, make sure everything's snug, make sure everything's ready, right? stop, for lack of a better term, half-assing things and get a lot more consistent so that I'm okay and I'm ready at a moment's notice, because you never know when things are going to go sideways.
Well, you got to have, I know we've done a couple episodes over the years with about fitness and being fit. And a lot of people are, what does fitness have to do with preparedness? Like, hello, like if you can't carry I know that a proper bug out bag is not going to be, 60 or 70 pounds or maybe even more, but you got to be able to carry some weight and hike if you can't even walk a mile, you're not going to be able to carry a daggum bag a mile. Because if you can't even walk without anything else on you, if you can't run for a little while to get out of places or get away from a threat, I mean, of course, it's important to, you don't need to be a marathoner, but for goodness sakes, at least have a 100-yard dash under your belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sprinting is important, and not hurting yourself when
Yep.
sprinting, like you said there, Scott, rolling an ankle or pulling something to where you can't escape. So, one of the standards I've kind of always held myself to is, looking back to 9/11, do I have the tools on me that I can escape a building, right? Cut through drywall, get through a wall, and then sprinting away from danger like that. I mean, and again, having the cardio to do it, and then also not hurting yourself when doing that as well.
Well, speaking of ICE and on more of a political side of things, it's interesting because I saw this, I haven't verified it, but there was a breakdown of from 2003 until 2016, the Democrats were the ones who were the major funders of the ICE program. Then in 2017, when Trump took office and started using the ICE, then all of a sudden the Democrats were denouncing it. And in 2021, they funded it again, but now now they're breaking the funding and they denounce it. So it's like they were all for ICE when it was back when they were running the show, but now that we're running, the Republicans or the conservatives or there's like what's it called? The Trump derangement syndrome or something like that.
TDS.
That's a real thing.
Oh yeah.
I've seen clips of Obama talking about how we need to close our border because we're scared of these people coming across the border taking our jobs. I'm like, that was what he ran on one of his platforms, was saying how he was going to close the border and be more strict on the border. And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It's like, the hypocrisy is real. The gaslighting is real with that group. I'm just saying, it's just crazy. Yeah. So
real with both groups. That's the problem. It's two different wings of the same bird that's still crapping on all of us.
Very good point.
Right. It's two different wings to the same bird, and it's crapping on all of us. They're going to use the same rhetoric every election cycle to get what they want, and then never deliver on the promises.
Mm-hmm.
Well, supposedly, ICE has deported 527,000 illegals so far, which is obviously more than the previous administration, whatever, but that's neither here nor there. But that's another thing causing a lot of chaos. We hear about ICE, we hear about National Guard or military going into our cities. That's another big topic that I wanted to bring up as well, is that Trump has sent troops into LA, Memphis, and DC. He wants to send them into Portland and Chicago, and I guess having legal problems with getting that to happen. But if you ask me, that's what's called martial law, right? And of course this can be argued. Are good things happening? Yes, probably so. Are bad things happening? Yes, they are as well. I understand U.S. citizens are also being accused and hauled away along with the illegals. So, where's the line?
It's fantastic. I actually listened to a personal story. A guy was talking about his situation. He was deported with ICE in the last 3 months. He was deported back to Germany, where he was born. He's been in America. I think he's in his late 20s. He's been in America for over 20 years, and his parents never filed the paperwork correctly. And so it was 100% his dad's fault.
Mm.
Right. So he's like, I'm not mad at America. I'm mad at my parents. If they would have at least told me about this issue, I could have resolved it, and I would have resolved it. He's like, but it's neither here nor there. He's like, America is the greatest country in the world. He's like, I'm in Germany. It sucks. It is the worst place I've ever lived. He's like, and he just goes through all the different reasons why he 100% supports what ICE is doing. He's like, because we can't keep giving people free rides that don't deserve them. He's like, I got benefits I didn't know about until I was 18 that my parents just used and abused without my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, that's another, we're going to talk more about those benefits and those use and abuse as we get closer to the end of the show. But like, that was another one of those cases. He's like, we need to fix the system. The system's broke. And the way to fix it, first get all the bad stuff out so we can focus on what is really the problem. Right. And he's like all for the deportation. He got deported, but he's been living here for most of his life.
Wow. What a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's legit. There's so many reasons why we need to have good people coming here, and we just need to do it the right way. And we need to make it easier, or at least more obvious, or more, I don't know. We do need to streamline it, make it a little more effective.
Simplify the process. Simplify the process for legal immigration. Yes. I'm 100% for that. Right? Absolutely. Simplify the process. If somebody wants to come here and do good, and they are good, bring them in. Yeah, if they're a felon and they're committing crimes where they're coming from, no.
Yeah.
Do you know how many countries besides ours let people in that are felons?
None.
Way too many.
0. And
here we're borders. I thought England was letting people in too that had.
Well, there was a lot of crime. All of Europe. Yeah, Europe has been letting in immigrants as well, and that's
but not legally.
Correct.
Right. The laws are such that it's 0. Yet this whole debacle has just been opening the borders and letting people filter through however they want to, because it fits the left ambition. It fits that group's ambition to destabilize these countries that support the world.
Part of the reason why they want to have people come is because if they give them all these benefits, they're going to be beholden to them, and they're going to say, look, we'll give you all this stuff, but you got to vote for us. And so when they see all these voters in these districts, in these areas, and they're trying to redistrict a lot of these states are redistricting right now, they're saying, well, look at how many Democrats we have. Look how many registered Democrats we have. We got to redistrict for this and put more representatives and all this other stuff. And so it's a lot of it's really they're kind of it's their way of stacking the system in their favor. So that's another reason why it's important to get out of there, get these people out, or at least kind of identify so that we can actually have a legitimate election, or have a better opportunity for a legitimate election process. We're on YouTube. Shoot, I shouldn't have said election.
Well, if you still believe in that, yes.
That's probably worse than showing my gun saying what I just said.
Well, you mean selection process?
Right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
What's interesting is the primary schools and summer camps that Barack Obama went to. He's many photos with his buddy. Do you know who his buddy was?
Mike somebody or another?
He unalived himself in prison.
Oh, that dude.
He had his own island. Ghislaine Maxwell's boyfriend. They went to the same pre-college schools. Interesting. Summer camps, I mean. Yeah. Very, very interesting. All right, next topic.
All right. I got a lot of them. So I think
go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So one of my favorite topics, of course, and we'll try not to run this, hammer it too hard. But obviously what gold and silver did in the last couple of weeks, the last month, right? Gold went to over 4,300, silver to just under $54, 53 and so forth. And then, call it a correction, air quotes. Did a lot of excuses you could use for that. But gold had broken back up to over 4,000 again today. So yeah, we'll call it a correction. There's a lot of reasons we could get into it, but again, I don't want to bore you guys with it too much, but it's very significant what it's been doing lately. And it's true shortages in silver in Europe, in London. and the U.S. has had to, the COMEX has had to send over silver bars on planes, and India and China are taking all kinds of silver, and it's a big mess out there. And these are signs, these are warnings, right? And that's kind of what we're getting to. This is, a threat assessment. It is, in my opinion, a threat if you don't have real assets. And so that's kind of just my purpose for today is let's point out these threats, these issues, and try and inspire you guys, which I'm sure all of you are also already. If you've been listening, your regular listeners, you've already been doing these things. So just preaching to the choir, right?
Well, I just pulled this up right here. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but the top 10 countries that have the silver reserves. So what are the number one country with the largest silver reserves? You probably never guess what it is.
I would probably say India.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Scott, you want to throw out a guess?
No.
It's Peru.
Oh, really?
Peru, Peru, Australia, Russia, China, Poland, Mexico, Chile, Argentina, and United States and Argentina were tied. We're tied with Argentina, guys, in terms of silver reserves. Gold reserves were probably on the closer to the top if what they say is actually true about what we actually have, because the audit never went through. But It's kind of crazy to think about a country like Peru with silver reserves, although they probably have great silver mines down there.
And this data looks like it's from 2022. So, yeah, who knows where it's at now?
Yeah, so apparently by gold reserves, America is the number one according to the this particular one I'm looking at.
Not true.
But we're probably not in the real world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt if the Federal Reserve had gold, but they're separate. They're not actually the government.
No, that's correct. Yeah, Federal Reserve is not the government, but the Federal Reserve does hold U.S. gold in at least two of their banks, and then Fort Knox as well. So that's all counted toward the 8,133 tons that the U.S. supposedly has.
Just to close, I don't know if we want to close out this topic.
Yeah,
or not,
let's close it out.
A final thought for me on that topic is in Ray Dalio's book, Changing World Orders. He talks about how the cycles of how world orders rise and fall over the centuries, and when you get to the point where you have a fiat currency that's failing, and you have other countries that are buying up gold and silver to be able to kind of bolster their economies, the failing world currency is overcome by the new world currency, which eventually is founded on gold and silver. And so every world currency, when they begin that cycle anew, it's founded on gold. It's backed by gold, backed by precious metals. And so when you see the BRICS nations and other nations really hoarding, almost, if you can use that word, hoarding gold and silver, there's a reason, I think, is because they're planning to do that. Now, is it going to come anytime soon based on, the numbers and based on what's going on around the world? I don't know. But could it happen in an instant with a war of some kind or a World War III of some kind? Yeah, they could. It's just stay aware, keep your head on a swivel, so to speak, when you're looking at what's going on with gold and silver, because when a world currency falters, it's because they left that, and we've left it for, we're past the life cycle for when a fiat currency should be around, by the way. And then as a new world currency emerges, it's always backed by gold. Every world currency in the last 500, 600 years has been backed by gold, and gold and silver go back to Sumeria and all the other ancient civilizations. So,
well, and I guess to kind of wrap this up is the China has opened and is opening warehouses in all of the BRICS nations to hold gold.
Wow.
So they are. They have the Shanghai Metals Exchange, where they have already backed, to an extent, the Chinese currency with gold. In that, I think oil is convertible into gold. So some of their guarantees are convertible into gold. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but that is what's happening in many, many different countries. They are buying gold. They're stacking gold, to maybe not to directly back their currencies with gold, but as a way to build confidence in their currency, in their system. So kind of the recent talk is, there's the China, the yuan, their currency is not going to be the new world reserve currency. It's going to be every individual country who has gold is going to have confidence in their currency, and it's going to be local currencies more than just one particular currency, like the US dollar is a world reserve currency. So I hear a lot of that talk lately, that countries, that's one of the reasons why we're seeing gold and silver go up so quickly right now is because of countries and banks buying, not because of individuals. But like we talked in one of our last episodes, that major corporations, investment companies are saying, yeah, you need to hold 20%, 25% part of your portfolio.
Isn't that crazy? It's interesting because the cost of everything is going up. And one of the things we promote is Survival Frog is one of our affiliates. You can get tasty meats. We had the banner going across, and the comment came up. It's like, oh, well, you better hope gold's going up so you can cover the cost of buying meat. Well, and they're saying it's because of the prices. Utah Mike, thank you for pointing that out. But it's like the most expensive meats are freeze dried, right? The next most expensive meat is the meat you didn't eat, right? Because you let it expire.
Mm-hmm.
Most meat in America expires. It goes unfinished, doesn't get eaten all the way. We spoil more food in America than anywhere else in the world. It doesn't make it all the way to market, or we let it spoil in our homes because I don't know why. I don't have meat expire very often in my house. It doesn't last that long, but it's crazy how much it expires. Better to have something than nothing. I just looked at some pricing. Mountain House, which is usually a little more expensive than others, for a number 10 can, guess how much it is right now?
$70-$80.
$94.
What?
Plus shipping for a number 10 can. Now, yeah, it's just going to get more and more expensive, which leads me, this is the reason I'm talking about this. I'm glad Mike brought it up. The reason I'm talking about this is meat prices are about to go nuts because what just happened with Venezuela. They got a $40 billion bump in free funds, basically, from the United States. And their soybean entire industry was sold off to the highest bidder, while ours was completely shut out. Like, our ranchers and farmers just got completely hijacked and screwed over by our government in the international space as well. Like, it's crazy what just happened. $40 billion. You know what's happening for our ranchers? They're going to get funded a $12 billion aid package that if they use, they have to cut back other things. So they're getting forced out of the industry. And I don't know if J.R. Henry's in here, but he and I have talked a few times. There's about to be like a massive failure of the American meat market, is what he's telling me. So
I would highly recommend getting together with your local farmers, then local meat market. Yeah. I found a place that's local to where I live, and they sell. I mean, I'm pretty sure they butcher the cow in the backyard and then they sell it in the front yard. You know what I mean? So that's where I go now.
Yeah, and it's funny, Mike. Meat does not spoil in your house either, right? But here's another thing: like, cattle prices are going through the roof right now. Like, if you try to buy a half a cow, it's as much as buying a full cow 2 years ago. Right, the pricing has just gone through the roof. Sandra Davis, cows are worth more now. If you can get a couple cows, do it. Right, not a better time than now. Well, not a better time than 20 years ago to start doing all this stuff. But get everything now. And Shane, you just pointed out calves have doubled in price in our neck of the woods too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's crazy. Yeah, if you can buy stuff from local warehouse stores and local restaurant supply companies, you're going to do a lot better because you're going to be buying in bulk. But then you got to figure out for yourself, how are you going to store all that food so that it doesn't spoil?
Yeah.
Right. And that you don't need power, because we're going to see more and more grid stability issues going forward. And that's not in tonight's news, but that's something I'm watching more and more problems with. More and more data centers going up around the world. We're going to have more and more brownouts consistently throughout America.
Well, part of that is, the AWS outage last week, earlier this week. Or when was that? That was on the 20th.
It was
20th.
over a week ago, but it was close
20th.
to a week.
And there was another small outage yesterday as well, and that was quite significant. And it really showed.
That was a different group. That was a different outage, though. It wasn't AWS.
But it was still AWS. It was, from what I understand, but it might have been connected. Smaller, but AWS, they run a lot of people's data,
infrastructure data. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. They're the backbone.
A lot of companies use the AWS services.
Yeah, they're like Cisco a little bit.
So
real quick, back to the beef. Comments in the chat. I love this. A lot of people are switching over. Like my goal is rabbits. We've got rabbits and we've got chickens, right? My goal is more rabbits. They're tasty. They produce fast. They're very affordable, and pound for pound, they can outproduce a cow every year, right? All you need are 2 does and a buck. Just start doing it because, and right now, like if you don't need a lot of them, don't put them together in the same pen. Don't let them procreate, right? Keep them separated. But yeah, we've got to take control of our local food supply. All right, sorry. Continue.
Oh no, I just see our timing. We're at 32 minutes and haven't barely touched my list here. There's the government shutdown. Obviously, that's should be apparent as of October 1st. We're in 29th, going on 30th day, which will be, I think the 30 days is the longest any government shutdown's been. I think we're going to go well past that. And then that has to do with also the SNAP benefits and I'm probably taking your thunder here, Scott. As of November 1st, they have officially said that they will not be funded on that day. Who knows how much longer it's going to take, but there's a lot of fear mongering out about this as well. I sent you guys a video. So
I never got it.
Oh, didn't you get it? Okay. But basically, it's about 86% of Americans that use SNAP. And so there are a lot of, illegals or whoever using the SNAP benefits. But from what I understand, it's about 86%. And that the average...
Shane, just to clarify what you said, you said 86% of Americans are using SNAP. 86% of people who use SNAP are Americans.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. 86% of people who are on the SNAP program are Americans, right?
Okay.
Not 86% of Americans. No, I think it's one in 7, 1 in 5.
Because SNAP doesn't report that data anymore. They stopped reporting that data in 2022.
But I also understand that the average benefit is only less than $200 for the SNAP program. Yeah. So obviously that's going to affect some people. Per person? Is that what?
Per person.
Okay.
The number
depending on the size of your family, it could be sizable.
Yeah, the number one group of recipients are children. The second largest group are the elderly, right? But back in 2022, in the last available data, 18% of SNAP recipients were undocumented illegals. 27% were documented illegals. How can you be undocumented illegal and have SNAP benefits? And also, how can you be documented illegal and have SNAP benefits? Right? These are things that I'm still trying to work my head around, but that's when they stopped reporting this data.
Yeah.
So back then, almost 45% weren't Americans. So, yeah. But here's the cool thing. So, SNAP is funded into a card. That card is then used or not used, but the rollover stays on the account until it's used. But you have to report what you're using as you use it. And if you don't report it, then they don't fund your card again. If for some reason that doesn't actually get funded on November 1st, right, you'll still be able to use what's in your account. And they're estimating that most people actually have a surplus in their account because they don't use it all every month. But everything, if it does get delayed, will get charged again once the funding gets approved. Will it be as big of an issue as we're being led to believe? I don't think it will be.
SNAP is different than EBT, right?
No, it's the same. SNAP is EBT. SNAP food stamps is EBT.
Oh, okay.
EBT is the card system for it. But yeah, we used EBT food stamps when we were doing foster care, because we got those benefits for the foster kids because we took in 2, and it was an absolute pain. Like all the time I was like, let's just use our money. It's so much easier because we could just go buy groceries and feed the kids. But to use EBT, we had to like line item everything and return with paper reports every month. And this was, hopefully now it's electronic, but we'd have to submit all the paper reports, scan them, and upload them every month, and we would get audited on that. It was a pain in the butt. So I don't know if it's simpler now. I hope it is, but that was 2014. It was a nightmare. I hated it.
That's interesting. I had food stamps from like 2011 era, and we just swiped the card and ran for it. We didn't have to do any of that reporting.
You didn't have to do any reporting. Maybe it was because it was foster care. It was horrible. Like we had to report everything, and so we were nickel and dimed on everything. And then we had to prove that we used at least so much of their benefits on them. And like there was nothing left to use on us if we wanted to. So I don't know how anybody could use a portion on yourselves.
There was a government shutdown back when I was in California. There was a government shutdown like this that extended the EBT, and I remember like there was theft in California for sure, because the lines. I mean, it was Walmarts and stuff were dangerous for a couple of days. So, I mean, there's certain places in California where you're not cited for a crime for stealing something less than a certain dollar amount. So they're raiding stores and pulling things off of the shelves now and walking out who cares? I can imagine it's going to be, is there a little bit of fear porn involved with this? I think so. However, right. I do think it could be a significant situation. Let's just put it that way.
I'm going to go grocery shopping, Friday or Thursday night for the week. I'm not going to go on Saturday. I'm not going to, until the end of next week to see how things shake out. Right. So we get things done early just in case. I'm the prepared guy. I mean, that's what I do. Right. So
yeah. Amen. In the chat, they're talking about like what Walmart CEO said. They're planning on shutting down shopping at their stores. You can only order online. I've
heard that's fake news
too. I don't know if that'll fully happen. It'd be interesting to see what does happen. But what's funny I shouldn't say funny. What's interesting is there's also coming up. What's the next major thing that's happening after Halloween?
Thanksgiving,
and then Black Friday.
Oh yeah,
and then Cyber Monday. There are massive amounts of boycotts that are going to be starting mid-November to late November.
Well, another thing on my list is all the layoffs. I mean, Amazon's laying off 30,000 people just as the holiday season's ramping up. Typically, they're hiring people. So,
Amazon is letting people go. The delivery groups are not Amazon employees.
Oh, right.
So they're letting go warehouse and facility, data science, sales, like all the internal stuff. And they're replacing those jobs with what?
Yeah.
AI assistants.
Well, that's another thing about the government shutdown is it's suspected that, after some of these employees, if they go 60 days, then they can actually be let go.
Yep.
And so it's suspected that, okay, that's the plan. Of course, conspiracy theory that after the 60 days, then, they'll be plugging AI in to fill a lot of these positions, which, for government, that seems like a lot easier than most corporations to do because most employees don't produce anything anyway. They're just, just getting a paycheck.
Yep.
In many cases, overgeneralizing.
It's going to be interesting to see how November plays out. November World Update's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be a November to remember. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think so.
Okay. So, other things about the government shutdown. Have you guys heard what's happening in the national parks?
No.
This is kind of awesome. Doesn't hurt us as preppers or affect us really, but drone flights, unprecedented numbers of drone flights because it's illegal, but there's no one to stop it. Also, base jumpers
Yeah, no, I've heard
Yosemite
that.
has experienced the largest number of base jumpers ever. Hikers are reporting that it's absolutely terrifying because they'll have base jumpers zoom past them as they're hiking up a trail, so a body will fly past them,
What?
like these wingsuits and stuff.
Mhm.
Just crazy.
I have heard that. Yeah.
But all the national parks here in Utah are being flooded. We just had school out for a week last week, and so like everybody, or 2 weeks ago, everybody was out in the parks. It was insane.
I went
But-
to Zion, so
You
I
did?
was in. Yeah, I'm guilty.
You're one of those. But yeah, it's crazy. But that's enough about that. I just wanted to bring it up because it's quite fascinating.
I wanted to say something about what's going on in Canada with regards to the wilderness and national parks. Have you guys heard that they literally are telling people, do not go into the woods, do not go into the wilderness, even if you own the property. Do not go into the woods because you will be arrested or fined. I
Is
just
that
saw
because of fire.
because of so many fires out of Canada, or
Yeah, and
that's what
it's
they're
only
blaming
certain-
it. Quote, so many fire, right?
Yeah, it's
But
only
that's
certain provinces, I believe, that have made that illegal to be out.
It might be, but
ground.
like, imagine if you're a Canadian, you can't have a gun anymore. You
Yeah.
can't go in the wilderness anymore. Even if it's your property and you own it and you have a cabin, they're like, stay within a certain number of feet of the actual, house or whatever.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
go
like
into
a
the wilderness at all.
20,000 Canadian dollar fine or something like that. Something pretty ridiculous, 25,000 or something like that.
Well, there's reports out of a couple of different states, but Arizona, I used to live there, so this one hit me interestingly. Rainfall in Arizona this time of year, unprecedented for the last 40 years.
Wow.
You know, it started about 40 years ago in Arizona. Weather modification, government shutdown, and so
Same
now they're
here
getting
in
more
Utah.
precipitation than they've had in
A lot
40
of cloud
years.
seeding.
Well, yeah, nobody's stopping what what's going on. So it's quite interesting. And they're also saying there's a lot less chemtrails and stuff going on, right? So interesting stuff. Okay, other news. I know we're running out of time. We got about 18 minutes left. So you remember what happened in Venezuela?
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, we already talked about Venezuela. Remember what happened in Thailand with the banks?
Yes. 87 million.
87 million.
Vietnam.
Do you know what the people are doing?
Oh, that was Vietnam. That's right. It was Vietnam.
So was it Vietnam? Oh yeah, Vietnam. So here's what's interesting about it: the people, because they moved everything over to digital currency and shut down all the bank accounts,
Digital IDs.
digital currency, and shut down the bank accounts. All the people boycotted, and they're using cash. And all the mom and pop stores and all the people are using cash to get around everything. And the government's like, "Oh, we screwed up," because they can't monitor, track, or do anything with any of that. But the
That's
banks
awesome.
still have to accept the cash for payments, and so they're like, "Screw it, we're just going to do cash." But they're going to run out of cash when they put it all into the bank. Like, I don't know what's going to happen over the next few months, but it's interesting that it's crippled the national economy, but yet people are working their way around it with just using cash between each other.
That's awesome.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
once the
make,
bank
cash
gets
illegal
they're
next.
not going to put it back out.
Yep.
So yeah,
Well,
Venezuela. I know we talked about that briefly, but that's really ramped up. A whole nother, what do they call it? Whole nother strike carrier group was sent down there, and I think upwards of 10,000 Marines. So something's going to go. Something's going to happen down there. They've been ramping up, so keep your eyes on there. I mean, I wouldn't call it our backyard, but it's pretty darn close to the U.S. That we don't usually see this type of stuff. So, our administration just blowing up boats, not arresting them, not giving them a trial. And Trump even said out loud, we'll just kill them. Anybody who's bringing drugs into the U.S., we'll just kill them.
Yeah. And then he says, like they'll just be dead. What, dude? Oh man.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So let's see what else I got on here. India. Another thing about gold and silver, real quick. India has started to accept silver and gold as collateral for loans. So they're essentially, that's remonetizing gold and silver. And again, that's happening. That kind of stuff is happening all over the world because of lack of trust in currencies.
Wow.
So
That's
another
wild.
that's big. And then of course I got to bring in 3i Atlas, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's in perihelion, so it's going around the back of the sun, and is being watched very closely by I think the administration or NASA has basically NASA has activated its Earth Defense Group, an early warning system for all of them to watch 3i Atlas right now. As what the potential is as it comes around the sun, it could potentially, there's an effect that could happen. The sun can alter its path and either direct it more towards Earth or more away from Earth, but also they're assuming that there's potentially an intelligent design in this by what happens as it comes around the sun by gathering more energy from the sun and so forth. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to say, well, look what this did. Of course, I can't verify. You can't verify. We have no idea what actually is happening. They're going to say something. Oh, this is definitely some ship, some kind of craft, because it did this maneuver, it did that, and then now we have to watch out. And it's just more psyop.
Well, it's interesting because NASA and Japan are arguing over the facts. Japan is saying that it's slowing down and changing direction, and that it's emitting steady illumination. Yeah. Whereas NASA is saying, "Oh no, it's not doing. It's doing different things than what Japan's saying. Japan is not a credible source, right?" So they're arguing against each other. It's like, okay, if they show up, then we'll have an issue. Until then, like, stop bothering me, right? But I'm more concerned with the food shortages, the drug shortages that are coming, right? Yeah. The constant shortages of things and the hyperinflation of things that we actually want. Real food is getting impossible to buy. Processed fake food is getting more and more affordable. And obesity is becoming a bigger and bigger epidemic, right? Post-jab injuries is getting bigger and bigger, more and more problems. All the backpedaling around those subjects, it's phenomenal the speed at which the backpedaling is happening.
Yeah.
But it's not mainstream news. It's on the 6th page, the 8th page. It's down below, right? And it's all 3i Atlas that's heading the news, right? So who knows what really is actually happening. Yeah.
Well, then, of course, today there was another rate cut, 25 basis points, which is just going to fuel inflation. If anything, they should be raising rates. The last inflation number was 3%, which it's all rigged anyway. It doesn't include food or fuel or housing. And, you know, it's the CP lies, it's called, right? It's not accurate. It's manipulated, like that word. And so with additional cut in interest rates, there's going to be more borrowing, more lending, more dollars in the system, and create more inflation. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, they're saying that the mortgage rates were supposedly going to be coming down soon too, as well. That was one of their predictions.
Yeah, and they have been. They're down. They're at a 13-month low right now. So
I was going to say 13-year.
13-year, no, 13-month low. Yeah,
13-month.
So I mean, that's some good news if you need to buy a house, right? The 13-month low is better than it was. And it's going to come down. It potentially come down, but it seems like every time the rate is lowered by the Fed, actual real rates go up. So we'll have to see what happens.
What's interesting, Field Tech just brought up the fuel dropped to 273 2 days later. It was back up to 331. Like, I just went on a trip. My family went on vacation. We went to California to visit some Mousetrap for people and some other places. Legoland also. That was a lot of fun. Stupid money spent on all these places. But what's interesting is the cost of fuel down there was almost $1 more than here. And in all my travels back and forth, I've never had it more than 50 cents difference. But it was just shot up. Like, it's been crazy. But yeah, our cost of living expenses are going through the roof, and it's not accurately being reported, as Shane pointed out in the inflation report. But yeah, we also saw the billboards telling us what mortgage rates were, and I was like, oh wow, this is really good. This is a lot better than it's been. We're below 6 for a change.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that lasting either, because we have a housing crisis and it's not getting fixed. It's
and
not
the
even
prices are not really coming down. That's the big deal, is prices.
Yeah.
But they kind of can't come down.
No, I don't think they could.
Also today, I think as of today or yesterday, Nvidia now passed 5 trillion market cap.
What?
5 trillion.
How are they going up when
It's
now
AI chips and it's circular accounting, which is a long conversation. And you got to go over to Nobody Special Finance. He explains it really well, how that works. But this is it's all a bubble.
Yep.
AI is a huge bubble. None of these companies actually make a profit except for Nvidia, because they're selling hardware. Those who are developing AI, they make money, but they don't make a profit. And
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's a whole nother agenda we could talk about as well, is
The zombie corporations.
Well, zombie corporations, but them giving us a certain AI when they're holding the actual AI for themselves, right? For governments and the wealthy, right?
Well, I mean, most AI
likely
is advancements are going to where? The the DOW,
Palantir,
right?
Mm-hmm.
All of those technologies, Palantir is the biggest. All those technologies are going there first. And I think with the advanced warfare systems that are coming out, like, we're going to have to get more and more creative in how we defend ourselves in the future, and how we go as gray as we possibly can, unnoticeable as we possibly can. Like, grow all the trees and shrubs around your house you possibly can, so that you can utilize those as camouflage. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then vehicle repos. Have you heard about the vehicle repo news? Last year, about 1.7 million vehicles were repossessed. This year, we're already at 2.2. And another important part about that is last year, there were only about 2.3 million defaults, with 1.7 million cars repoed. This year, it's already to like 7.5 million defaults. And
what's interesting too is I'm seeing a lot of news about buybacks.
Okay.
That a lot of the people who are before they're getting to the 3-month mark of being defaulted by 3 months, they're being offered buybacks. They're giving them cash to bring their car in before it hits that, so that the dealership doesn't get dinged too.
Right.
Which is interesting, because that goes back to the whole.
Well, the dealership probably has
moving money around, but no one's actually making money.
Right. These dealers probably have recourse. Or the loans probably have recourse on these dealers and say, okay, if it gets it goes back to you, and you've got to sell it. They've got to make up the difference or whatever. So that could potentially be part of that. But also, just keeping some of these cars off the market to skew the numbers. It's pretty ugly out there, especially with these $1,000 a month car payments. It's just mind-boggling, the price of these vehicles. Just not participating myself. Not going to do it. Yeah,
it's frustrating, because it's like, I've been watching cars for a long time, and the prices dipped for a little bit, and I was like, maybe I'll buy a 4Runner now, and then the price went back up. I'm like, nope. And the mileage goes up, and the price goes up, and I'm like, how?
Yeah. Did you hear about the truckload of monkeys that crashed and escaped?
Not just monkeys.
Research.
What kind of research? Monkeys.
COVID, herpes, those types. So that's what they say, right? And they say, they're not contagious. And apparently they've got all but one. There's one still out there or something, but who knows?
They're aggressive.
Okay, yes. Well,
they're aggressive.
Monkeys scare the crap out of me, man.
Infected monkeys. The two words that worry me the most: aggressive and infected. And they claim they caught them all but one.
Yeah.
And all I don't believe any of that standing on the side of the road with their badges going, I don't know what to do. How do you catch a monkey? Like, it's turning into movies. Like our
Oh, yeah,
entire world
absolutely.
is sci-fi movies coming to true life.
Yeah.
Well, think about what you just said. I just watched Superman, the new Superman, with my daughter, and Lex Luthor had angry research monkeys in his pocket universe, and they were freed from the pocket universe, and they went running out all over the world when they were freed. So when you said there was a research monkeys, I was like, what is this predictive programming from Superman movie?
Interesting. That's interesting.
I hate those Planet of the Apes movies, Field Tag. I can't stand them.
Yeah, this last one was fun. I watched it with my daughter, and she's like,
Superman movie,
cool,
yeah.
But
Right.
anyways,
Dude, that's crazy. Well, we're almost up on time. What are the final topics?
I think final thoughts for me on what's happened this last week is just, or this last month is just what's happened this last week. With Hurricane Melissa. I mean, the whole country of Jamaica was absolutely devastated. They went to the point where even their first responders needed first responders, and their hospitals went out, and all of their medical facilities and medical supplies just got blown out. And so then Cuba got hit. But there's more and more of these natural disasters, quote unquote natural disasters. Right. When you spray things into the air, things naturally, he died of natural causes. Yeah, he was shot in the head. Yeah, well, naturally, when you shoot somebody in the head, they're going to die. So naturally, anyways, you get a natural cause of a hurricane like that. It was, it's pretty serious. So whether or not you're going to have an earthquake, or you're going to have a tornado or a hurricane, or whatever your area, I mean, even flooding is going crazy in weird, wild, crazy places. And so just think about some of these scenarios where you live, especially what could happen in terms of natural disasters, or even be modified to be considered a natural disaster or blamed on a natural disaster, and try to get yourself ready as possible, because Jamaica was not prepared. I mean, it's kind of a second, third world country anyways, but still they're not too far away from, most of these places in the world now are they were getting more and more sophisticated. Let's put it that way. And I think that it's a good example of what could happen. And shoot, the poor people of Jamaica just got devastated, and that could happen to any of us anywhere with these natural disasters. So just try to do your best to be ready as much as possible.
Well, and I think, my kind of closing thought is along those same lines. The earthquake in Vernal, we mentioned in a previous podcast, that is a really big deal. And in that community, that science has been turned, I wouldn't say upside down, but it's been stirred up quite a bit. An earthquake, 68 kilometers, 40 miles deep, which is into the upper mantle, shouldn't happen. We shouldn't be able to feel it. It shouldn't be that big. And it's just making a lot of questions for these scientists. It's changing a lot of things. And there was when I learned another similar earthquake a couple of years before in the same similar area. I think 2020, a little bit smaller, but also like 58 kilometers deep. And so things are changing, and not just man-made. Mother Earth will have her revenge, I guess you could say that, right? And the world's elite will not be able to accomplish their plans because God has other plans. I mean, to an extent, right? So that's what I believe, and that's where my faith lies. And we talk about all these things, and I don't put a whole lot of weight into them, honestly. They don't keep me up at night. I sleep well. I'm not worried about it. I've got a new kind of philosophy I'm starting to work is just sit back and observe, right? Just sit back and watch. And things are going to continue to get worse. What's that?
Have some popcorn with you while you're sitting back.
Yeah, exactly. Detach and observe. Detach and observe. So,
well, thank you guys for this amazing episode. There's a lot going on in the world, right? There's a lot going on around the world, but also a lot going on in your backyard, and possibly a lot going on in your household. Money is getting tighter. Things are getting tougher. If you don't have a side hustle, you need to get one. We found one that works really well. I've been headlining it. I'm actually one of the top 500 internationally, over 2 million affiliates. you could jump in with this, be part of this with us. They also just have the most amazing wholesale price nutritional supplements. Check out preppertalkradio.com/good life for more details. And feel free to reach out to me directly with questions. Guys, we are living in a time where we have to live ready. There is no question about the urgency and the priority that preparedness needs to take in your life today. If you feel not ready, you need to get in our group, Emergency Prep and Self-Reliance, over on Facebook. We have amazing resources, including our buddy Field Tac is in there. Rebecca's in there. Like all these guys, Utah Mike's in there. They're all in there. We're all helping each other get better prepared. Get in touch with us. Get involved with us. Let us help you get better prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Until next time, keep that head on a swivel. Stop being a bobblehead and get that head out of the dirt. Stop pretending that you don't know what's going on or you don't want to know what's going on. Get prepared and stay frosty. Have a blessed and wonderful night. We'll talk to you guys on the next episode.
See you next week.